Division losses, Chicago got a reprieve. A win today would mean a three-way tie involving them for first place in the always humorous NFC Central Division. The Rams, of course, much ballyhoo trip on their way to Hartford, had to change planes in O'Hare, so while they were there, they stopped off to play the Bears. And here we go at Soldier Field. Chuck Knox, could he get his Rams out of their funk? Opening drive, Chris Chandler started, goes to the end zone for Jesse's Hester, but John Mangum forced a little too much. It's pass interference. Chandler, quarterback seat for the one. Dave wants that team down 7-3, second quarter. Chandler, they call him Flipper, 53 yards, down to the 3. Good move by Flipper here, Tom.
Yeah, a great job of hesitating right here on Donnell Wolford. He bites on the move. Anderson gets into a sprint. Nice throw and catch. Down close.
But Chicago would bear down defensively in the red zone. Jerome Bettis, no. Chris Chandler will scramble. Look at the Bears secondary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's have a team meeting. Rams had to settle for a field goal by one of his Dejas's, Tony. 10-3 Rams. Third quarter, Rams threatening again, but look at Howard Griffith. Barry Minter says no. Then the Bears get a break. Chris Miller in a quarterback. Chandler leaves the band back. Detroit Drayton, is it a touchdown? It's ruled incomplete, Tom. Good play.
Yeah, Mark Carrier with a nice job of getting his hand in. Drayton had the football, would have held it for another tenth of a second, probably would have been called a catch. Look at him get his hand in right there and knock it out.
Well, Dave wants stats, defense. 3 possessions for the Rams inside the 10-yard line. Look at 8 plays, 14 yards, and that really kept them in the game and eventually led to other things like stuffing Jerome Bettis, trying to go up the middle. Bettis 8 carries for 7 yards. That's about a third of them. The Rams only 37 yards rushing. Their rushing game was all wet, thanks to Zorich and company. The Bears' offensive line did a good job. Took a while for them to get going. For the youngster, Raymond Harris, tough 7 yards for the rookie. Then Raymond Harris, look at him spin for a pretty 7 yards. Play, Steve Walsh actually guns it here. To Keith Jennings, touchdown. We're tied at 10.
Yeah, you're going to watch Shane Conlon here spot shadowed against Harris. There's Harris right there. There's Shane Conlon right there. Look at him follow the back out a little too far. Creates a nice seam for Drayton to make the catch.
Dan Harris shows he's not just a decoy. A 2-yard run for his first NFL touchdown, and the Bears have the lead 17-10. Big day for the rookie from Ohio State, 92 yards. Bears' other running back, not too shabby, Lewis Tillman, the former Giant. Sweet, 17 yards down to the 1-yard line. 2 plays later, hey, he did the work, get him in. Tillman touchdown, Bears win it. 27-13. The Rams have dropped 6 in a row. And Chicago now, as we mentioned, a 3-way tie heading into their very intriguing game against New England next Saturday at Soldier Field. Tommy, Bears back in their comfort zone a little bit in today's game.
Well, another outstanding job by Coach Wanstead. I think getting the most out of what he has. The defense played well. I think that the quarterback, Steve Walsh, played within the confines of what he can do. We did not see him throw a pass further than 20 yards down the football field. And as far as the Rams are concerned, you have Jerome Bettis coming into this game looking for 30 yards to get 1,000, and he gets 7. It's time to ask what happened to Jerome Bettis the last half of the season.
It is hard to explain. I mean, we go inside the numbers, Tommy. Last year, the last game of the season, they played the Bears, and Bettis, in that game alone, had 146 yards. But last 6 games in this year, barely topped that 1-game total, 63 yards. What has happened? You'll have to wait another week to see if he can get 1,000. He's creeping up on that 1,000-yard barrier. When we return, and the Packers have offense. They also have some defense, and Jeff George found out early. A nail-biter in Milwaukee. They put 2 seconds back. Eddie Eat, Drink, and Be Murray just wide left with a 45-yard field goal. Eagles eliminated from the playoffs. The Giants continue their winning streak. They remain in the hunt. They win at 16-13. Cleveland on the 2 on 4th down, incomplete. And Pittsburgh wins at 17-7. They've won their 12th game. They'll be home for the playoffs in the AFC. Highlights of those games coming up shortly. It's about time for Robin Roberts to say a few words here. And, you know, it looked like a foregone conclusion 4 weeks ago. Tampa Bay Bucks, for the 12th straight year, we're going to lose double figures again. But you know what? The Bucks have risen up, have they not?
9 and holding. They have something to play for, and they are really playing well. Entering Week 16, only 6 teams knew that they were already eliminated from the playoffs. Washington and Tampa Bay, and of course I got that game. But more at stake here than just positioning for the draft, like the Bucks going for that stop of 10 or more losses the last 11 seasons. And you know what happened 2 weeks ago at the Big Sombrero? Craig Erickson plunges for the game winner with 32 seconds left to play to keep the Bucks' hopes alive. Then the rematch today at RFK. The natives were restless for a win. 9,000 no-shows. Zipless in the first quarter. Craig Erickson play fakes, rolls right, and right into the hands of Tyrone Stowe. Washington in business. Now in the second quarter, Heath Shuler hits Ricky Irvins, who makes some nice moves into the end zone. 7-0 Washington, some good open field running, TJ.
Yeah, Ricky Irvins with a nice catch on a circle pattern between the backers, and Hardy Nickerson, one of these backers, and one of the better tacklers in the league, and he gives him a whiff on the way to the end zone.
But the Bucks come back. Craig Erickson hits Lawrence Dawsey over the middle. A 46-yard gain down to the 2-yard line. And that would set up this. He had 192 yards two weeks ago when they met. Eric Rett from 2 yards out. His 4th game in a row with at least 1 touchdown. But Washington comes right back. Less than a minute until the half. And Heath Shuler goes to work, hitting Desmond Howard for a 17-yard gain. And that led to Shuler to Henry Ellard, still going strong. An 8-yard strike. 14-10 Washington at the half. Those wacky Bucks just won't go away. 4th quarter still 14-10. Vernon Turner with a 37-yard punt return to the Washington 25-yard line. You know what's coming. Eric Rett, the 3-yard run. Sam I Am happy the Bucks are up 17-14, and that would be the final. The Bucks send Washington to their 8th loss at home. That's right, for the first time ever. The Washington Redskins go winless at RFK. Their 8th loss this season after leading in the second half. As for the Bucks, they vault to 6-9 and finish their season against the Pack. They have won 4 in a row, 5 for the thumb, 4 in a row, their longest winning streak since '79.
Yeah, they had a 5-game winning streak to start that season.
Right,
young
5-0.
Doug Williams, young Leroy Selman. They've never done that since in their history. And we shall see next week, Rob. Well, staying in our favorite division, Detroit, Minnesota, Chicago, now they're all 9-6. The Packers could be 8-7. Maybe 4 teams from the Norris division could skate into the playoffs after all. That's never happened. What they needed, though, was a win over the Atlanta Falcons in the final game ever at the frozen bratwurst of Milwaukee's County Stadium. Here we go. They played games in Milwaukee since 1933. This would be it. Thanks for the memories and good early ones. Favre, Sterling Sharp, 10 touchdowns for these two in the last 5 games, 7-0. Jeff George completes the pass to Terrence 12th of Never Mathis over the middle. But the news is bad. George is not a bad back. He breaks his little finger on the other hand, and George is gone. Bobby Hebert in. George going up to throwing just 3 passes. Still in the first quarter. The Pack continue to drive, and Favre is chased out of the pocket by number 90, Chuck Smith, had a good year. But watch him scramble and find Anthony Morgan in the flat to keep the drive going. Now 3rd down again. Favre reads the blitz and throws it to Anthony Morgan from
John Adams High School, Cleveland, Ohio.
your alma mater. 14-3 Pack. Second quarter, the Pack is up 14-9, but then they get some bad news. Brad Edwards nails Sterling Sharp right here, and Sharp had to leave.
And Sharp does such a good job of so many other things than catching the ball. And unfortunate, they're trying to throw a block at the line of scrimmage, gets himself hurt.
And Bad Moon Rising wanted to see how he was doing. Now, how is Bad Moon doing? Well, Hebert completes a 25-yard pass to him in the 4th quarter, and all of a sudden the Pack machine, they'd stopped on 14 points. Rising over 1,000 yards for the 5th straight season receiving. 2 plays later, Hebert. Mathis is wide open. Falcons take the lead, make a 2-point conversion, 17-14, Atlanta.
The thing to watch here, the Green Bay Packers playing defense in the red zone. You don't want to back up deeper than the line of scrimmage, deeper than the goal line. You look at the Packers there, 3 yards deep in the end zone. Doesn't do any good when the guy catches the ball right on the line.
They need help in the 2-minute warning. Brett Favre, boy, he loves the situation. They're right down the middle of Mark Chmura. Get up, Mark, get up. Well, all right, that's good. 3rd down again. Favre to Robert Brooks. Great catch. Keeps the feet in. Stops the clock. 3rd down again. Favre. Touch to Brooks. Can't get out. They call the final timeout. Mike Holmgren. No. Keep going. What the heck? Go for it. 3rd down again. No timeouts left. 20, 19, 18. Favre sees his spot. To the 10. To the 5. He does. Touchdown. The Packers win it. 21-17 as Favre. I tell you what. It was a gutsy play, Tom.
Play of the year for the Green Bay Packers. Brett Favre outruns Chuck Smith around the corner, and then look at the determination. He dives right there. He knew he had to get the ball in on that play.
Doubt that they could have gotten up to stop the clock after that. The Falcons' valiant effort dejected, and the Packers live in the playoff hunt. They actually can still win the division. I know they're behind 3 teams, but trust me, they can still win the division. All I want for Christmas is the playoffs, and the Packers win it 21-17, closing out their life at Milwaukee, 105-61-3, 2-1 this year. Favre afterward talked about the winning play.
I scored, and I was so blown anyway. A 9-yard run to me is I'm done for the day. I don't know how those running backs do it, but Chimera knocked me down, and Frankie knocked me down, and I couldn't breathe. I was telling them, get off of me, but they were just excited, and, you know, that's what football's all about.
Chris Favre began his NFL career with the Atlanta Falcons. Favre 29-44, 321, 2 touchdown passes, and the run. And the Pack struggled in the middle of the game. At the end, it was Brett.
Well, what a great thing to see him have some success. He gets so excited about playing the game. But early in this game, they had a lot of success, and then Brett Favre, just before the half, he throws the INT. And I think, again, we saw an example of his maturity, along with some help from Edgar Bennett, his rushing, his receiving. But he settled himself down, Brett Favre, and got the big score at the end of the game. And this is a team that you wouldn't want to play. You don't know where they're going to end up in that playoff picture. You wouldn't want to play this team in the wild card round or that first round.
Well, you know where they end up next week? The Bay of Pigs. Tampa Bay and Green Bay at the Big Sombrero, maybe for the first time ever, a Bay of Pig game with playoff implications. That's a first. Inside the numbers, the Tampa Bay Bucks. Hey, why have they won 4 games in a row? Well, rushing yards that they've given up defensively. Look at the takeaways compared to the first 11. Look at the sacks. More in the last 4 games all win than they had in the first 11 games. Bucks defense, Eric Rett, and playing with some pride and some poise for Sam White. Good job, Tampa Bay. When we return, Marion Butts trying to lead the Patriots over the Buffalo Bills. We'll be back.
There are some tough birds in our division.
Oh, just a couple of weeks after the tragic auto accident, the Seahawks trying to put in the crimp in the Raiders playoff hunt. Top of the hour here on ESPN Sunday Night Football. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. You'll see it on New Year, the week going into New Year's, that same cartoon. 94, the old man with a cane. 95, the baby wearing a diaper. Well, the old man in the NFL, certainly in the AFC, the Buffalo Bills. The baby with the diaper, the New England Patriots. Could Buffalo prevent New England from turning over the calendar? Here we go from Rich Stadium. Jim Kelly out. 25,000 fans out. They sense trouble. Although Frank Reich has won some big games for the Buffalo Bills, so has Thurman Thomas. First series for Buffalo, 18 yards for Thermal. Then, the little swing pass makes a nice catch, leads his way downfield for a big gain. Buffalo came out of the chutes flying, knowing, let's drive the car as far as we can. Let's see how far we can get it. Thurman, another 1,000-yard season. With the Patriots leading 3-0. Reich, play action, Nate Turner, touchdown Buffalo. They would score again to lead 17-3. 6 minutes into the second quarter. But Drew Bledsoe and the Patriots were looking for their 6th straight win on 4th and 2. Parcells gambled so often, and Bledsoe to Kevin Turner keeping the drive alive. Now, that sort of play sets up play action, a good block. Bledsoe to Ben Wintercoach, wide open, 17-10, second quarter, Parcells team coming. Bledsoe against the rush. They pick up the blitz. Michael Timpson on the fly, beats Mickey Washington, Tommy. Nice play.
Yeah, we saw the strength of Drew Bledsoe right here. The great rush by Bruce Smith. He hits him on the arm, but the ball ends up right where it has to be for Timpson to make the catch.
So Timpson between defenders, and now, same drive, Bledsoe, 1st and goal, hits Vincent Ultimate Frisbee. 6-yard touchdown. We're tied at 17 all with a minute to go in the first half. And then, it was the weather. Rain was starting to fall. Who would it help? Well, very early on the screen in the second half to Carwell Gardner from Louisville. But Mike Pitts forces the fumble. Ricky Reynolds picks it up, and look at him go. Touchdown, 24-17, New England with the lead. Tom?
Pitts does a great job here getting his left hand in, and then look at Reynolds make the nice pickup of the football to take it into the end zone.
Next drive, Frank Reich throws a pass that just has Andre Reed creamed by Harlan Barnett. Loose ball, and Ricky Reynolds, he wraps it up for another turnover. That sets up Bledsoe. Plenty of time to Frisbee, wide open for touch.
Yeah, in the red zone, you cannot let the quarterback stand statuesque-like and deliver the football.
Last team with 5 receivers over 50 catches, the 1980 Cleveland Browns. Marv knows it's trouble, but the Bills are in it until this play. Long bomb from right to Andre Reed, but Maurice Funeral Hearst slaps the ball away. Myron Guyton picks it up and races up the sidelines. Then, where's Ricky Reynolds? I know he's around. What, you think Bill likes this, Tom? I don't know, but Reynolds says let's fall down. Ensuing drive, 3rd and 13. Big play. Bruce Smith, the outside rush. Bledsoe, the pass down the middle to Ray Crittenden. That sets up a Marion Butts touchdown, 38-17 Patriots. They're pouring it on. Turnovers keep coming. Right over the middle. It's Hurst really putting the nail in. The funeral Hurst for the Buffalo Bills. Sets up a field goal. The Bills with a classy goal line stand that meant nothing, but kept them to just a field goal, but 41-17 for the Bills of Kelly and Thomas and Reich and Bruce Smith and Cornelius Bennett and all of the All-Stars assembled by Marv Levy and company. A true AFC dynasty, but the torch was passed on this afternoon at Bridge Stadium. Bledsoe douses Parcells, mildly amused, but he'll take it. And the changing of the guard. It's the Patriots that now have knocked the Bills mathematically with Kansas City's win out of the playoff picture. 41-17, New England scoring 38 unanswered points. Afterwards, Bruce Smith spoke about it.
Maybe this is the best thing that could happen, to realize we gotta do some things during the off season to put together the chemistry again to go out and have a championship season. I realize we have a salary cap, but at the same time, there are ways of structuring things to get a few more players in here that can make a difference.
San Diego had a shot for the 3rd straight week to wrap up the AFC West. They lost their first 2. Junior Seau playing hurt. But look at Seau, and this is Sean Lee making the stick on Johnny Johnson. Seau recovers and is excited as the Chargers defense forces a turnover. Then Seau comes up against Adrian Morrell. Bing, look at him go between tacklers, Tommy, to make the play.
Yeah, Seau has not been 100% for a few weeks now, but he does a good job of shedding people right here, sticking his head in, and bringing down Adrian Morrell.
9 tackles and a fumble recovery for Seau on this day to assist. But the Jets defense also keeping it close. Chargers tried to run it for a while with Natron Means. He means business, but Jeff Lageman means I want the football. He strips it, and Donald Evans has it. Lowry field goal, 3-0 Jets. Take that lead in the second quarter. Paul Fraze and Lageman rush inside. It's Fraze sacking Humphreys, and Pete Carroll's defense figuring, well, now that we're out of it, maybe we can make a good run. Scary moment for the Jets in the second quarter. Boomer Esiason tries to duck, but Junior Seau actually tries to not really lay the level. He does, though, and Esiason leaves. It's incomplete to Thornton, and Boomer hit hard, had to leave because of the concussion.
Yeah, Esiason tried to hang in and hit the ball, and not a vicious lick by Junior Seau. I think probably the turf did more damage than the hit itself.
Well, Boomer did not return. Stan Humphries has been trying to find a grip on things with the Jets leading 6-0 second. Here's Humphries on a nice roll to Mark Shea, and Sewa. The Chargers lead at 7-6 at the half. Jack Trudeau played the second half. It looked like Pierre Trudeau. Leslie O'Neill says hello to the former Prime Minister. Jets fans embarrassed? Well, they have reason to be. They were almost in first place a couple of weeks ago. Humphries. This is the big play Chargers, Tom. Tony Martin wide open, beats Aaron Glenn. Touchdown, 14-6, lightning bolt. Fourth quarter, 8-point lead continues for the Chargers. And again, run means and big plays. We talked about it this morning. Humphries, Martin, 60 yards between defenders, 21-6 San Diego. Bobby Ross and the Chargers have won their second AFC West crown in 3 years. Take a dunk, Bobby. For the Jets, a different sound. Nobody said that Jets fans did not have a sense of humor. I know. I used to be there for 20 years. Chargers 21 and the Jets 6. A very happy plane flight home for the San Diego Chargers, who took our cue for going into New England for a 1 o'clock game less than 24 hours before. They flew a day early. I think they will continue that if they go east of the playoffs. Good to see them get in.
Well, you talked this morning about them going back to the game plan that was so effective the first 6 games of the season. That is, Natron Means, a strong running game up the middle in between the tackles, and then Stan Humphries throwing the ball deep. You saw them do that all day today. They got back to the style that made them successful early in the season.
You know, let's go to the New England-Buffalo game, Tommy, because you knew we were going to get here eventually. New England has matured before our very eyes. Early in the year, looked like they had too many holes, too light. Bledsoe, he was great, but could he? It's all come together. Certainly it did this afternoon.
Yeah, I think they've matured as a football team, and certainly Bill Parcells brought them along fundamentally in everything that they had to do offensively and defensively. But when I talked with Parcells, he said big games like this come down to turnovers. Today, the Bills 5 turnovers, and Drew Bledsoe, none.
Parcells himself at the end of the game said this was our best game of the season, and boy, he is Mr. December. Well, Tommy, frankly, the Bills ran into a team today that was younger and stronger. It took 4 15, 16 seasons for Buffalo to run out of gas. And when they did it, it was not a pretty sight. After all the games they played from 1990 on, really, if you think about it, from 1988 on, it's to their credit that it took this long. Their image to those who don't understand them will be 0-4 in the Super Bowl. But the true legacy of the Buffalo Bills will be their second half 2 weeks ago in the Miami night and their second half 2 years ago in the playoffs against Houston. That's where they will forever hang their hat. They are a throwback, old-fashioned team that refused to take no for an answer. They didn't go down until they fired every one of their bullets. Maybe today was a blessing in disguise. They really don't need another run at the Super Bowl right now. What they need is a rest. As we go inside the numbers, the New England Patriots, their secondary, after getting torched early this year, one of the highest paid secondaries in football, and they're playing like it. Last 12 games, they've allowed less touchdown passes than they did in the first 3. Interceptions, look at that, and under 200 yards a game, as we mentioned, after getting torched the first 3 games of the year. You want one of the reasons for New England's turnaround and growth? There's reason number 1. Later in prime time, the Chiefs, could they get back on a playoff roll? We'll be back with more right after this.
Seems like a little thing, but when you find a pair of Levi's jeans with a red tab on the back pocket, you found something special.
Well, in the Giants' case, half full after the comeback they made for the Eagles, Rob. Pretty empty after 5 straight losses.
Yeah, these two teams both at 500, but they both got there, as you said, in different ways. After losing 7 straight, the G-men have strung together 4 consecutive wins, while the Eagles had dropped their last 5, which led to the benching of Randall Cunningham. Since '91, the Eagles are 23-13 when Randall starts, 14-14 when someone else does. That someone else, Bubby Brister, today. Eagle defense set the tone early in the first. Rodney Hampton on the carry, but Mike Flores drops him for a 7-yard loss. What happened on this, TJ?
Well, you see Flores is trying to be blocked by Aaron Pierce. He actually takes Aaron Pierce and throws him into the ball carrier.
Then Eagles get it going on D again. Dave Brown is pressured. He tries to go over the middle, but is intercepted by Mike Zordich, who returns to the Giants' 40-yard line. Then Bubby gets it going. Hits Mark Bavaro. A 27-yard touchdown strike. He dives in for the score. Eagles leading 7-0. Their first quarter touchdown in 9 games. In the second quarter, some bad news for the Eagles. Charlie Garner ruptures his kneecap on this play, and he would leave the game in obvious pain. He takes with him the Eagles' rushing game, only 8 first-half yards on the ground for the Eagles. 10-0 Eagles in the second, Giants driving, and TJ.
Look at that little nugget run and fumble.
Eric Allen picks it up and goes every which way he can. A 30-yard return for Allen after all this. Eagles up 10-3 at the half before he finally goes down. The Giants offense gets on track in the fourth, 13-6. Dave Brown hits Rodney Hampton, the swing pass for 14 yards. And truly, Dave Meggett, 5 yards for the touchdown. The game is tied at 13-all. On the ensuing kickoff, Jeff Seidner fumbles the ball. The Giants recover. What happened here, TJ?
Well, you're going to see Seidner run into his own man right there, has the ball in his left hand. Ball right on his own man, pops out.
Giants ball, 3rd and 15. Down hits Meggett, and he goes 32 yards to set up the field goal, and the Giants on top, 16-13. The Eagles, though, with a last chance. Bubby Brister is picked off by Barnett. Eagles out of timeouts. Bubby Brister completes it. Giants think it over. Bubby Brister tries to get out of bounds. The Giants pick it up with time running out. The Giants, they think the game is over. But that's not the case. So Bubby Brister with one more play. Everyone is confused here. The officials let Brister spike the ball with 2 seconds left. Everyone's confused. Brister wants to know, and the ref says the spike possibly allowed the Giants to pick up the ball and allow the clock to keep going. Eddie Murray is allowed to try a 45-yard field goal, just barely wide left. The Giants win a crazy one, and the Eagles are eliminated. Oh, no one can believe what happened. 16-13, the Eagles are eliminated. Brister 25 of 39, 182 yards. Dave Brown 18 of 27. Hampton 24 rushes, 61 yards. How about the Bengals and the Cards? Buddy's boys still alive in the playoffs. And for a little inspiration, Sir Charles on the sideline. Cardinals stalled on their first possession on the punt. The ball goes off of Roger Jones' foot. Loose ball recovered by Brian Reeves. It's Arizona's ball. That set up Garrison Hurst from the 1. He gets in. Cards up early, 7-0. The Cardinals' next possession, Hurst again, but this time passing to Larry Centers in the end zone. Cards up 14-0 in the first. Jeff Blake had his work cut out for him. The Bengals' second possession. Blake goes back, bobbles a snap. It's recovered by Keith McCants. Dave Shula thought he would be in for a long afternoon. Cardinals good field position early in the second. Jeff Schrader to Ricky Prohl. He fumbles at the 1. He recovers his own fumbles. 21-0 Cards at this point. The Bengals offense just couldn't get started late in the half. Blake looking for Carl Pickens. Right through his hands. 4 drop passes by the Bengals in the half. Same series, third and, a bunch. Blake under pressure. Sacked by Seth Joyner. Cards 3 sacks in the half, TJ.
Yeah, you watch Seth Joyner here. To the left of your screen, he's just basically shadowing Jeff Blake. He waits for him to come outside the pocket, rushes in and cleans up on the sack.
See their Bengals just 33 yards. Total offense in the first half. Second half, Bengals got it moving. On the reverse, Renee Scott. A big gain of 25 yards. Then the next play, Blake to Carl Pickens. Breaks past Aeneas Williams down to the 3, a gain of 30 yards. Then on the next play, Jeff Blake going in the end zone. It's tipped and picked off by Seth Joyner. Blake taking a little frustration out on Garth Jacks. Schrader stayed in the sidelines with a sore knee. Steve Berline came in the 4th. Berline gives it to Larry Centers. He knows what to do. And the Cardinals go on to win by a final of 28-7. Schrader, 12 of 20, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, no INTs. Steve Berline, 8 of 13, cleaning up 98 yards. Boomer?
In the ultimate irony, the Cardinals will try and get in the playoffs next week against the last run-and-shoot team in football at Atlanta. Very interesting. Joe Montana back for the Kansas City Chiefs. Remember, he ended the Oilers as we know them last year in the playoffs. If Joe didn't deliver today, the Chiefs, as we know them, would be finished. His defense helped him out early. Dale Carter, going to the Pro Bowl, puts his helmet on the football, forcing a fumble by Low White and the 7 Dwarfs. David Whitmore recovers for Kansas City. That sets up Montana to tight end Derek Walker. Touchdown, 7-0 Kansas City at home. Watch the play action, Tom.
Yeah, Montana with the great play action fake. The linebackers need to help the DBs in this position, and you can see they bite on the play action fake to touchdown to Walker.
Billy Bob Joe Tolliver struggled today. He has Neil Smith playing with the injured thumb, playing hurt all year. Neil knocks down the pass, then Tolliver 4 of 9 in the first half for Billy Joe. Third quarter, the Chiefs only leading 7-3. Joe struggled at times, but when it came to pay dirt, he was perfect. Jack beat Kimball, Jack beat Quick. Kimball Anders with a 20-yard pickup. Montana to his favorite receiver, J.J. Burton. Playing with an injured back across the middle for 30 yards. Then Montana to felon Golden Domer Lake Dawson, who somersaults in 14-3 Chiefs.
What a great job of concentration by Lake Dawson. He pulls this crowd, actually a ball out of the crowd of 5 people, rolls into the end zone before he's touched.
Next possession, we mentioned on game day, first time in a long time Montana has a favorite 2 receivers, Burton and Willie Davis, available to him. Willie pulls down the rainbow for 33 yards. Montana moving past Johnny Yu, 4th out of the all-time passing list. Of course, he just passed 40,000 yards in his last start. Then Donnell Bennett, second effort, gets in for a 12-yard touchdown, 21-3 Chiefs. Scored 24-9 in the fourth quarter. Neil Smith knocks the ball loose from Tolliver. It's ruled a Femba. Look at Neil hustle after the ball. And Jeff Fisher, if I just win 1 or 2 games, I can stick around, but it hasn't worked. Chiefs, they are opportunistic always under Marty. Lead the NFL in fumble recoveries. That sets up another rookie. You saw Lake Dawson. Here's Greg Hill into the end zone, 31-9. Chiefs dance. Joe Montana. And the Chiefs know if they beat the Raiders next week, no matter what the Raiders do on Sunday Night Football, the Chiefs will be in And the Chiefs have owned the Raiders' numbers recently. Joe against the hot Raider team. That's the way it looks. Montana today, 235 yards. When we come back. Plenty more. The big game of the year in the AFC. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Three Rivers. Who would come out on top?
Introducing
Finally, the Raiders against the Seahawks tonight. And the Raiders keep their drive to the playoffs going. Haas growing a beard. We'll see him play football at the top of the hour. Welcome back to NFL Primetime. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Not only the battle for Rust Belt supremacy, but also the battle for first in the AFC Central, not to mention the battle for best record in the conference. Points would be at a premium in this slugfest at dusk at the Confluence. It's our word of the week. Playoff fever for the terrible towels are out. Par! The Steelers have been 20-4 against the Browns at the Confluence. Neil O'Donnell at home has been stellar. Steelers opening drive, 3rd and 2. O'Donnell to Barry Bananas Foster. Dives for the first down despite the big hit by Pepper Johnson. Then utterly clad Bill Belichick, hoping his Cleveland defense could come through. With the Steelers punting a costly offside penalty on a special team ace, Benny Thompson. So Belichick can't believe it, and as a result, next play, wouldn't you know it, O'Donnell. Yancey Thigpen between defenders. The penalty kills him. 7-0 Pittsburgh.
Again, great concentration by Yancey Thigpen in the middle of double coverage and then walking on into the end zone.
Steelers next possession with the 7-0 lead. 3rd and 9. O'Donnell. Incomplete to one of the Mills brothers, Ernie. But wait, Don Griffin, you cheated. Pass interference, first down, Steelers. Then O'Donnell to his big, and I do mean big, tight end, Eric Green down to the 3. 2 plays later, just desserts for Barry Bananas Foster. Over the top very quickly, 14-0 Pittsburgh with that lead, with that defense. Still in the first quarter, Vinny Testaverde. Here comes one of those blitzes. 3rd down, whack, incomplete. Browns only 14 yards in the first quarter. The Steelers 155. Steelers came out smoking, but you know the way the Patriots turned around that game. Could Cleveland come back? The veteran Ernest Finer trying to pick up the slack. 15 yards out of the 16-yard line. But Testaverde goes back to pass, and it's Mr. Jones. The Counting Crows on an interception. Gary Jones' first interception of the year. A big play at the goal line.
Yeah, Testaverde, a good job. You're going to see what he sees right here. Open receiver, doesn't come back quite far enough for the football. Jones makes the nice INT.
Along came Gary Jones. Steve Crosby trying to get Vinny to do some Stills and Nash. Testaverde to Derek Alexander, the youngster who can make some big plays. And look at what he does just before the half. Then Testaverde to one of his receivers back from his Tampa Bay days, Mark Carrier. Hey, we're in it, say the Browns. 14-7. Greg Lloyd says, I can't believe we gave up a touchdown late at the half or something like that. 3rd quarter, Steelers defense best in football. Browns first possession, second half, Leroy Hoard. He does this. He fumbles. Joel Steed strips it. Ray Seals recovers for Pittsburgh.
In an effort to get extra yardage, you see Leroy Hoard here gets caught in traffic, and Steed does a great job of sticking that big paw out, getting the ball. Very opportunistic defense by the Steelers.
Well, they need Young along with the Stills and Nash for Steve Crosby. Testaverde back to pitch. Chad Brown picks it off the linebacker. Leads to a field goal, 17-7, Pittsburgh. Minutes ago in the game, Testaverde fakes spiking the ball a la Marino. It's a touchdown to Michael Jackson, but offside because it's only a no touchdown. The Steelers have won. That's right, Kevin. The Steelers are champs of the AFC Central for the 2nd time in 3 years, and for the 2nd time in 3 years, they've clinched home field advantage to the playoffs. The first time they had it, Buffalo knocked them right out. Chances are they mean more business this time. Steelers 17, the Browns 7. The Miami Dolphins had already clinched a playoff berth Monday night. They were looking to win the East if Don Shula could have hit a 3-wood through the RCA Dome from his golf cart. But the Colts had other ideas. O.J. McDuffie, though, first down catch from Dan Marino. 15 times he's touched the ball on 3rd down this year. They made 15 first down conversions. I'd say the man is money. But 3rd down at the 16, Marino's pass is defended by Ashley Ambrose. Breaking up the pass, looking for Irving Fryer. So, again, another first quarter. No touchdowns, only 3-0 Miami. Joel Brewer finds it at the 25, breaks a couple of tackles. And look at him go! He could go all the way. Punt return, 75 yards. Colts lead 7-3. Ted Marchibroda's team lost in the final seconds earlier this year at Miami. They know they match up well. Second quarter late. Marino off the fingertips, though, to Fryer. Could have been a touchdown, but Miami first down, 13 seconds to go in the half. Fryer down to the 2. No timeouts left. Tick, 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 tick. Get it. Let me spike it. Tick, 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 tick. There's the gun. The half is over. 7-3. Oh, my goodness, there's a win coming up. I got to go up a club. Tommy, Miami moves to the Colts 3-yard line. They try to pound it in. Irving spikes, goes outside. There's nothing. Then James Saxon on third down is stuffed up the middle, and they settle for a field goal, so it's 7-6 Colts. Jim Harbaugh starting for the Colts. Pass over the middle to Sean Dawkins. Harbaugh didn't complete many, but at times, Tommy, he was tough. Like Marino, he rolls left, scrambles left. What?
I don't like the idea that you cut the field down so much when you roll out down in the red zone.
Tom Olivadoti's defense holding to a field goal. It's 10-6. Marino ready for a comeback. He did it. Down by 9 in the fourth quarter of the Colts before. Oh, Nelly hits Keith Jackson. He goes down to the 12. Shula up. Get the cart out of here. Third and goal from the 2. Marino's passed to Mark Ingram, but it's that man Ashley Ambrose again. Fourth down, we gotta go. It's 10-6. 2.5 to go. Ingram. But it's Ambrose playing defense again. Tony Bennett also got a finger on it. So Shula could not clinch the division. And the Miami Dolphins now will try and go for the division title Sunday night, Christmas night, on ESPN at 8, on the same night against Detroit that they might go for a division title, and Barry Sanders tries to go for 2,000 yards. Tommy, let's go to the Pittsburgh-Cleveland game. Then he threw 42 passes today, and that's not what Bill Belichick had in mind.
Well, I think when you look at the game plan for both of these teams, it's pretty much the same. They want to run the football. They want to play good run defense, force some situations as far as down and distance, and not put a lot of pressure on the quarterback to have to get things done. All of that game plan went out of the window for the Browns when they fell behind 14-0. And at the time that Vinny Testaverde starts throwing and trying to play catch-up football, you're going to get the interceptions. And he also did not get help from that backfield because they laid the ball on the ground.
Well, people have forgotten Cleveland, of course, got in last week, too. But now they will go in as the wild card, looking for that top seed, which means they would play at least one home game to start if they're the top wild card. As we go inside the numbers, it's a time of the year when, you know, big running and passing games are tough. Only 100-yard rusher during the afternoon. Barry Bananas Foster playing hurt, and he earned his money today. Only one 300-yard passer today, Tommy. Brett Favre, 2 touchdown passes, ran for 1, pack in the hunt. Pretty short lists. We return our game balls. Talked about the high-priced secondary, the Patriots. They are paying big-time dividends. Stay with us.
What are you getting Little Al for the holiday?
In the holiday spirit, as we go inside the numbers, there were some 100-yard receivers today. Lawrence Dawsey of the Buccaneers leads the charge. Tony Martin caught only 3, but 2 of them were bombs. Andre Reed, valiant in defeat for the Buffalo Bills. More 100-yard receivers. Gary Clark, way up on the all-time receiving list. Edgar Bennett had a big day catching and running the football for the Pack. And Lake Dawson, 101, a silly millimeter longer for the Kansas City Chiefs. Game balls, Hayes playing hurt, but they need the big-time players to come through, and that's what the Chargers got today. Junior Seau, 9 tackles, 2 assists, 1 fumble recovery, hustling, playing like a little kid, all over the field, forcing the turnovers, making the turnovers. Junior Seau and the Chargers having a nice flight west, winners of the AFC West for the second time in 3 years. That's my game ball, Rob.
Well, Boomer, a rare offensive show by the Cards today. Garrison Hurst ran one in, and he can also throw completing this 10-yard pass to Larry Sanders for the touchdown. 28 points for Buddy's offense today. As we take a look at Hurst's numbers, Buddy's boys still alive, TJ.
Yeah, my game ball is going to go to one of the new kids on the block in the AFC East, Ricky Reynolds. Here you see the fumble being caused.